We're live for the television talk show Issues here. A great day here in the city of Columbus, Mississippi. I'm your host and executive producer, Rick Mason. Welcome to the show. Today on the show, we have an individual who's been a standard individual, stand-up guy here in the city of Columbus. I look at him as an astute brother, what I would call him. His name is Dr. Thomas Prude, and we welcome you to the show today. How you doing?
Good.
Thank
you for having me.
Yes, sir. Give us a little background about you and who you are.
Well,
a little history.
I was born in Columbus in 1944. I served on the school board for a total of 14 years, and I retired from Columbus Air Force Base after 35 years.
Okay.
So I've been here all of my life, off and on.
Okay. So you've been on the school board for so many years and dealing with educational matters. How do you see the school system in today's time?
I see the school system as lacking, but I'm optimistic that with the new superintendent that things are going to turn around. However, there's one problem in Columbus and in the South and in America, period. A lot of people don't believe in education.
Okay.
They don't trust education, they don't seek education, and they don't understand that education is the way out of poverty.
It's the key.
Yes, sir, the key.
Okay.
So it's a value that we don't share, and it's so important that we work on that.
All right. And education, would you say that's the only way you can make it in life? I noticed you said.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's the
good. It's a plus.
It's the plus, and it's the primary way out of poverty.
Okay.
The primary, but not the only way.
Right. Because there are skills and trades and other outlets in life that maybe individuals can try, and maybe, everybody might not be a bookworm.
But just get the primary education, and then you can get a trade or a skill, and they make more money than teachers many times. If you air conditioning, heating guy, plumber, electrician, they make serious money.
Right, they actually
factory worker, he makes some serious money.
So speaking of factories, not to jump around, do you think the skillful test that they're offering to people to take to get into some of these new technology plants, do you think it's a plus that they have to go through so many obstacles to be a part of one of these high-paying jobs here?
I really do, because of automation and the skills and talents that are required for that. I think the training is wonderful.
No, I know it's wonderful, but what about those who can't complete the task to actually work in one of these plants?
Well, maybe they need some remedial training. But you need to train it.
You need to train it.
The training is essential.
Right. Okay. We'll be right back in just a moment with Dr. Prude, having a great time here in the city of Columbus. 662-386-6064. If you got an issue, email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com. And again, we noticed some of the Facebook inquiries and inboxes we got from the last show talking about relationships, and one individual emailed in and was talking about, wow, why is this lady talking about this? It's real life stuff. It's Issues Television Talk Show. We'll be right back in just a moment for the television talk show, Issues.
Coming up next on Issues.
Spirits. Great prices with a large selection. Spirits Package Store, located 1402-1 Main Street in Columbus. Go by and see Charlie and let him brighten your day or your night with some of the best tasting wine and liquors here at Spirits Package Store. Anything from vodka to gin, Hennessy, Ciroc, 1738 Blue Top, Burnett they call it, located next door to King's Court Store, 1402-1 Main Street, for some of the finest wine and some of the greatest tasting liquor. Go by and see Charlie today at Spirits Package Store. And remember, don't drink and drive. And go by and see him today for some of the greatest deals in town. It's Spirits Package Store, 1402-1 Main Street in Columbus. And we're back for the television talk show Issue, sitting here with Dr. Prude, and we've talked about education, and now we're going to make our way on into another avenue. Do you think racism still stands today in today's society?
100%. In fact, 150%. And I don't think we'll ever overcome racism in our lifetime.
Okay.
And you see the youth coming up in the school system. You see racism there, and it comes from home and it's passed on.
Okay, and when we say racism, we're talking about both sides of the table, right? I mean, because there are some people that are black that are racist, and some people who are white are racist. So what's your view? What avenue are you going down?
I think that the ones that don't have any control, the ones that don't have any power, the ones that are restricted to power, have a limited racism, but the ones that have power want to maintain that power, so they exercise and they politicize racism.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And your issue when you called into the show, your issue was about the monument that sits before the Lowndes County Courthouse here in the city of Columbus.
Yes.
And we sit here today doing this interview talking about these particular issues.
Yes.
And what is your issue with it?
Well, my thing is what it represents. It represents treason. It represents slavery. It represents terrorism. It represents all the negative things about the South. Okay. And it just sets me off when I see it. And I can't digest it.
Okay, and I noticed you were showing us earlier before we started the show the difference in the actual monument. One side, it shows a man standing with a flag or standing on or riding a horse, and the opposite side, it shows a drapery type fabric.
Yes. One side you see a Confederate soldier, the other side you see a Klansman.
Okay. So do you think the city of Columbus is aware of something sitting here?
That's a very good question. Columbus is aware of it. We all know about it, but a lot of us are comfortable with it, and if it doesn't bother anybody, nobody will do anything about it.
Okay, and I understand the Lowndes County prayer take place right here as well.
The national prayer.
The national prayer.
Yeah. It took place under the shadows of the statue.
Okay.
And it's just something that a lot of people are comfortable with. It represents their heritage. It doesn't represent mine. And they just overlook it. And unless someone complains about it, nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen. Okay. All right. You are very. I want to say you are very strong-minded about this situation.
Yes.
And I can tell that it bothers you.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. We'll be right back in just a moment with more exciting things here with Dr. Prude talking about issues. Right here for the television talk show, Issues.
Coming up next on Issues.
Issues all over the city. Come see my boy T down here at 10th Street Store with the best barbecue in town. Issues. Issues. And we're back for the television talk show Issues here in the city of Columbus, talking about what's going on in today's world, should I say. Your president, President Trump.
Oh,
Hey.
the president.
The president.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people say that the president is racist. I mean, it's been said. So do you feel that he show racism from time to time, or do he show it at all?
And he has no shame about it. Yes, he does. Continuously.
Okay.
Every day of his life.
Every day of his life.
Yes.
So do you think that is something that can take place by a leader and nothing can be done about it?
Well, there's something can be done about it.
But people just not doing anything about it.
Well, the Republicans have turned their heads. They have the power, and it's all about power. It's all about the concentration of power. They have that power, so they're willing to ignore their values and ride with him.
Okay. So it's not about the popular vote being able to say impeach him or I mean.
That's a really good question. That's a really good one, because the Democrats are caught in a catch-22 situation.
Okay.
And knowing that it takes the Senate approval to get him out, but the Senate is going to support him, so the Democrats could get it to the Senate, but the Senate's not going to support him. And they know the guy's wrong. They know the guy's crooked. They know that he's an illegitimate president. They know that he needs to go home, but they've got the power and they want to keep the power.
So 2020 is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see Trump being reelected?
No.
You don't?
No.
You think some of the people who voted for him feel that they made a mistake?
They know they made a mistake. Okay. And they're waiting to correct it.
They're waiting to correct it.
But we got to stop the Russians. We've got to cut the Russians off.
Hey, we got racism issues today. We got politics issues today. One final question to you, and they're talking about the mural, not the mural, but the mural here in the city of Columbus,
yes.
Post office, downtown Main Street.
Yes.
As you can see, individuals are picking cotton, and you have the donkey being pulled for say to garden up or portray the actual garden.
Yeah.
And you have individuals standing over them. What do you feel about that?
It represents a really depressing time in our history, and a lot of us would like to see it go away. A lot of us would like to see it go down to Friendship Cemetery, just like this statue. And for those that appreciate it, let them go down to Friendship Cemetery and celebrate it.
Wow. So, why do the federal government let that stand in an actual federal building? Because the post office is a federal building, am I correct?
Yes. But here again, if people don't raise their voices, if they don't protest, if they don't stand up and bring it to the attention of the authorities, it'll just go unnoticed.
Man, Dr. Prude, you really enlightened us on a lot of issues today that I wasn't aware of. That's taking place here in the city of Columbus. But again, the friendly city is the friendly city, and it's growing, and it's a beautiful place.
It is,
and I love it. And hey, there's no better place than the Golden Triangle here in Columbus, Mississippi. Final thoughts. The 8th of May celebration.
Yes.
Hey man, that's a popular day.
Yes.
The Sandfield Cemetery.
Yes.
I watched the kids perform about individuals who are laying in the grave right now today. They acted, each one of them out, saying where they were born, said what they owned. I mean, it was so many African American started businesses here in Columbus that a lot of people don't even know about.
Exactly, banks and all type of entrepreneurship.
And again, Columbus made history with the first African American mayor, Robert Smith. That was a great thing at the time. Also, the fire chief, Chief Andrews, Martin Andrews. It goes on. So it's a positive city, positive vibes, but we just still have a little history lying around. Right.
We need to wake up, and we need to step up, and we need to move up.
And if anybody have any issues that you want to talk about, be sure to email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com or give us a call at 662-386-6064. Any final remarks that you would like to leave with the people here at Beyond the Show? Is on the 4 states, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas. I mean, just whatever you want to leave them with, let them know.
Let's step up, let's wake up, and let's love one another, and let's move up. Let's want the best for each other, and let's move ahead.
Don't be the one sitting behind the computer. Don't be the one sitting behind the phone. Don't be the one sending in inboxes. Come on the show. Talk about your issue. Give us a call, 662-386-6064, or email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com, should I say. Like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter. I mean, we're here for you. It's all about issues. And we'll be back in just a moment after these television commercial breaks for the television talk show.
Issues. We all have them.
Coming up next on Issues.
Muffler Magic, 110 Tuscaloosa Road at Columbus. Voted best muffler shop in all of the Golden Triangle area. Glass packs, turbos, converters, all sizes, and new and used tires. Check them out. Give them a call at 662-327-6991. Over 4,000 used tires in stock. Floor Masters, stock mufflers will meet or beat any prices on exhaust systems. 110 Tuscaloosa Road in Columbus. Over 30 years of experience. Check it out. 110 Tuscaloosa Road in Columbus. We're live at the television talk show Issues, downtown Columbus, the city of Columbus, having a great time. And guess what, man? I tell you, people are all over the place. We're here in front of the post office, downtown Columbus. What's your name?
Addie and Bruce.
Addie, how you feel, Addie?
Feel good.
Good. So you're a graduate from MUW.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the W? What do you think?
I love it. I actually came here a couple of years ago. I've been here for about 4 years, and came to the W strictly for the business program.
Okay.
Graduated last August with a bachelor's degree in business and professional studies.
Okay, so now you're a resident of Columbus?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the difference in Columbus and McGee? Any kind of comparisons?
It's a little bit bigger here, same as there. Like everyone knows everyone. You meet people down the street and it's like, hey, how's it going? And then next week you see them again.
Right.
So it's really the same as far as that goes. There's a lot more restaurants and stuff here. We just have local restaurants there.
Okay.
But people-wise, the people here somewhat are nicer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being that you're from McGee, Mississippi, and that's been a small town, have you ever in any kind of way experienced racism in either city or whatever the case may be?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Really?
Yes.
And what are some of the issues you might have bumped into dealing with racism?
Well, actually, I'm also a server at Cracker Barrel. I work at Regions, and I'm a server at Cracker Barrel. And I've actually faced it where there have been tables that people come in and they're black people, and I've actually had one table that they told my manager that they didn't want me to serve them because I was a white girl.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So it does stand here today in society that racism still pickers around from time to time.
Yes, sir.
But
people think that it's just like white against black, but it's also like
black,
it's white against
yeah,
white.
right. It's vice versa.
How I was raised is, everyone loves everyone. Like everyone's equal. If you cut us open, you're gonna bleed red. I'm gonna bleed red. So
Beautiful.
you just kind of shake it off and just take it as a grain of salt.
Man, I tell you, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Me, I'll be 23 this year.
And you at the age of 23 and knowing, have that type of knowledge to be positive about racism, that's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a beautiful thing. Any encouraging words you'd like to say to the people out there who might be challenged by racism?
It's not even just racism, like equality, no matter what, whether you are a man that likes men, whether you're a female who likes females, whether you're a black person, a white person, like everyone is equal. We're all born for a purpose in life.
Right.
No matter who you meet on the street, be kind to them, because especially nowadays, like there are kids that are being bullied in middle school, high school, and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff that are committing suicide. And just like a kind word, just, hey, how are you? Not even a kind word, just, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Can turn their whole entire day around and make them want to live another day.
Man, I tell you, you got a mouthful. That's great, encouraging words, and we hope that this might help someone who's having challenging moments in life. Can you look in that camera and say issues?
Issues.
We're live at the television talk show Issues here in the city of Columbus. Again, we're dealing with all types of obstacles, man. Happy moments, fun times here in the city of Columbus. I'm your host and executive producer. Give us a call, 662-386-6064, or email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com if you got an issue. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, for the exciting show, Issues.
Coming up next on Issues.
Check out Kids Cleaning Service, located 812 Short Main in Columbus. Give them a call, 662-549-2825, and ask for Maurice. Kids Cleaning Service, right here in the Golden Triangle area. They remove stains with a class, with a great smell and a great look. Give Maurice a call. Like them on Facebook. Give them a call for a free estimate today, and let them bring your carpet back to life with a great smell and a great look. It's all about kids cleaning. We're live at the television talk show Issues here on today. We've been dealing with racism issues. We've been dealing with history issues. We've been dealing with mural issues, statue issues, the whole nine. And now on today, on the show, we have Mr. Steve Rogers. And everybody knows Steve Rogers. He's not a hidden person. He's an outspoken person. And we want to talk to you today about two issues that are taking place that was brought up here in the city of Columbus. One is the mural that's here at the post office in Columbus, and the statue that sits before the Lowndes County Courthouse. How do you feel today, Mr. Steve?
How do I feel today? I feel great. I got Rick Don't Go Mason. How can you go wrong?
Can you tell
And we're
us
talking art.
art?
I mean, how can we go wrong?
We
talking
can't go.
art?
Give us your input on those ideals and issues.
Yeah, I mean, first I want to talk about the statue that's been there on the Lowndes County Courthouse. And there's obviously been a lot of discussion about statues and monuments on places all over the country. You know, like in my hometown, in fact, in Demopolis, Alabama. They took the Confederate Memorial down there. And I don't know that I agree with it. I really, their issue is different than here. I think the issue that's come up here has been, is one of them looked like a Klansman.
Okay.
I had to go over 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times and wander around and look and talk and do, you know, get the right sunlight and that kind of thing to see an image of a Klansman or whatever. I think if they took what's called a little D2 solution and put it on there and got some of that mold off there, and all you got to do is spray it on there and just let it sit, it takes care of it itself. I think it would change the whole perception of it. I think a lot of it just has to do with the shadows and the coloration and those kind of things. And people are going to see
And say
whatever they're going to see.
See,
I mean, why do you think psychologists make you look at handprints and clouds and, you know, that kind of stuff and say, what do you see in there? Hey, what do you see up there, Rick?
I tell you, clouds.
Right, well, that's a blue sky. That's no cloud. See what I hear? Right, you go see things, right?
Right, you're exactly right. In the mural situation,
Hey, you know, frankly, until you said something to me about that mural, and I've been in this post office, used to work right across next door to it, right across the street from it, and never noticed that mural until you made me come up here and look at it.
Right.
I think, well, I don't know who the artist is. The artist is very good.
Oh, it's great work.
Whoever the artist is.
Right, great work.
I think then it becomes, is it appropriate
To be in a federal building.
to be, I don't care if it's in a federal building, a city building, wherever. Because it does show African Americans picking cotton. Now, I think you can look at that in 2 different ways.
Okay.
Is that stereotypical? Are we doing something that's stereotypical and saying, oh my God, that's the only way we show African Americans? Now, if we showed at this end down here, one of the early African American inventors doing the same era, but down here at that end, would we still be doing stereotypical? Would we be looking at it that way, or would we be looking at it as historical? This building was built in 1936.
Okay.
I have no idea whether that was meant as historical, stereotypical, racist, or whatever. I think it's a nice piece of art. I think it has a place. I think it has a place somewhere. It might be good to have a plaque up there describing something about it, the history of it. In hindsight, it's 2020, and I'm sure if they'd known in 1936 or 1937 that 80 years later this debate was going to be going on, that they'd have gone, oh yeah, heck yeah, let's put a plaque up there. Picture of the artist, you know, the whole thing. But we didn't do that, so we're operating on hindsight. I think from a historical perspective, and you have to look at it that way, given the time. I really don't think it was racist. I can't imagine that federal people, even in 1936,
would do something like that.
In the United States, that would have happened then. If you know, certainly if there were parts of the South where if this had been built, if this had been some podunk courthouse or something, or city hall, I could see that in making the argument that's racist. I just don't believe that's what it was. I think it was a historical piece. I think it was very well done. Does it need some perspective now? Certainly. I'm not going to get on a bandwagon to tear it down. I get on a bandwagon to give it some perspective.
More direction.
And maybe add, you know, okay, put one at this end with something in modern day. I don't care, whatever, that kind of thing. It's sort of, to me, is, I mean, history is history because it's history.
Right.
And we have to learn from it. All these people, I'm not one of those, and I'm probably, I tell this story a lot. I'm liberal by standards down here, but when I was in Massachusetts and Connecticut, I was a flaming conservative.
Right.
Everything is perspective.
Right.
And we have to look at it in those kinds of ways. To look at this as racist, in some ways, some people's eyes today.
They do.
Yes, I can see it, but again, it's sort of like seeing the flag,
Right.
the hood over there.
Correct.
People are going to see things. You looked up and saw clouds in a perfect blue sky.
Right.
People are going to see and think
what they
in their own perspectives. And in this day and time, it's even worse.
Right.
I mean, you would think that, oh my gosh, we would be a progressive society now. I think in many, many ways, social media has sent us backwards. We see something, we post something. So many things are out there anonymous now. we don't discuss anything anymore. I mean, you and I communicated today with 3 texts.
Right. Yes.
You know, and I finally said, I'm gonna call him. We're gonna have an actual conversation. Oh my God.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna talk again. But do you think in today's time, do you think racism still stands
Sure it does.
today?
Sure it does. I don't think there's absolutely any doubt about that. And it's just as much.
And it works both ways.
Just as much among blacks as it is among whites.
Right.
In both ways. I'll tell you something. I'm covering a trial over in Clay County. Widely known case. It's the assault at the Hub House.
Okay.
Almost 5 years ago. And the issue, one of the underlying currents is racism. Whether a man was drunk, there's no doubt he was drunk. Whether he made racial slurs to some young African Americans, there's evidence both ways. But 2 young African Americans testified today, and they said we use the N-word term to each other.
Right.
All the time.
Say
it's in
cool.
rap music, and some of my favorite music. But if a white guy says it to a black guy,
It's a problem.
It's
They say it's a problem.
oh yeah, he said
feels it's a
he
problem.
said it's a real problem. And he said he says the MF is just about as bad.
Wow. Yeah.
And the MF part, I knew the one. The other one I didn't know. I'm buttoning that word up.
It's a family show.
You know, to not use that. But it was interesting
Right.
to hear that discussion, and to them, it's just as much white guy saying it.
It's,
And they said, does everybody feel that way? Trying to say, well, no, you know, because Mr. Weems he's never going to, his life has changed forever. He's permanently brain damaged.
Hey,
So it's
man.
always going to be an issue. But, and the guy said, he said, nobody wanted it to be those kind of injuries. But basically he was saying, you do that, and they're going to be consequences. That's just the way young African-American males. Now, you might go out here and ask a 65-year-old black male, same thing. Their perspective's going to be very different.
Right.
Time, all of those things has changed all that, just like this piece of artwork. Now, the statue over there, I think that's people seeing stuff. But people are going to see whatever. Now, the artwork here, the mural, that's a different kind of subject, and that's where you get into interpretations and racism and all of those kinds of things.
Hey man, it's the television talk show Issues. Once again, if you want to email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com, or either give us a call at 662-386-6064 if you got an issue. Can you look in that camera and say issues?
Issues.
We're live at the television talk show Issues. See you next time, same place, same show. We're doing it right here for you, and you. For the television talk show Issues. Issues Television Talk Show. Email us at issuestalkshow@gmail.com, or either give us a call at 662-386-6064 if you got an issue.
Issues.